Welcome. Today, we're diving straight into a fascinating breakdown of why some people manage to completely push through monumental obstacles, while others, they just kind of stall out before they even really begin. We're looking at a framework that proves success isn't just about luck. It isn't just about raw talent. It really comes down to two foundational pillars that function together as the dual engines of success. Engine number one, your internal mindset, and engine number two, your community support. We're going to completely dismantle the whole lone wolf myth today and prove exactly how these two forces interact to drive your reality forward. Let's jump into section one, the fuel for action, driving your reality. Think about $1 million sports car, right? It could have the perfect aerodynamic design, pristine leather interior, a totally flawless transmission, but if the gas tank is empty, that machine goes literally nowhere. There's a brilliant quote that perfectly captures this dynamic. Thoughts are fuel for action, exactly, and you get to choose what kind of fuel you're running on. If you pour contaminated, low-grade gasoline into a high-performance engine, and I'm talking about things like chronic pessimism, self-doubt, or imposter syndrome, what happens? Well, it sputters, it knocks, it eventually breaks down completely. When your internal dialogue is filled with negativity, you are actively pumping toxic fuel into your system, and the consequence isn't just that you feel bad. Your actions become hesitant, your productivity absolutely plummets, and your reality stalls out. Your physical capabilities are the vehicle, sure, but that vehicle absolutely requires a premium energy source to move. Which brings us to section two, choosing your mindset, the power of selection.
You are not just the vehicle in this scenario. You are the driver standing right there at the pump. You have ultimate autonomy over your internal dialogue. So let's compare these two ideas. On one side, we have your internal thoughts. That's the specific fuel you select. On the other side, we have the external action, the tangible reality you drive. If you want a different external reality, you can't just try to force the wheels to turn from the outside. No, you have to go back to the pump. You actually have to change the fuel. And look, it takes immense personal willpower to filter out all that negative noise and intentionally select premium, high-octane mental fuel, things like focused determination, rational optimism, clear goal setting. You are the active mechanic of your own life.
But what happens when we face setbacks? Seriously, think about it. You could be driving along, your tank is totally full of perfectly positive thoughts, and suddenly a tree falls across the road. Or your tire blows out, or the bridge ahead just collapses. Personal willpower and premium fuel are fantastic for driving forward on a clear road. But let's be real, life is rarely a clear road. When catastrophic failure hits, when the external world completely derails your momentum, individual mindset often just hits a wall. A positive attitude is incredible, don't get me wrong, but your engine cannot fix a blown tire all by itself. Moving on to section three, the resilience factor, bouncing back. When a crash happens, the rules of the game change entirely. It is no longer about forward momentum, it is entirely about recovery. We define resilience as the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. Notice that resilience isn't about avoiding the crash altogether, it's the capacity to withstand it and recover quickly. Because when your personal fuel tank is completely drained by a major life difficulty, your willpower is often depleted right along with it. You can't just sink yourself out of total exhaustion. Actually, scratch that. It's more like trying to start a car with no battery. This is where we really have to honestly investigate whether personal willpower is enough to succeed. True toughness, true resilience, actually requires external intervention. And that leads us to section four, your support corner, the external engine. If your thoughts are the internal engine driving you forward, your community is the external engine that pulls you out of the ditch. The evidence is crystal clear here. Support is vital for personal resilience, and having people in your corner makes a massive difference. Your mindset might dictate your top speed, but your community dictates your survivability. We love to romanticize the whole idea of the self-made solitary winner, right? But the reality is that long-term success is virtually impossible without a strong group of people in your corner. When you face a crushing defeat, it is the people in your corner who actually hand you the wrench. They are your pit crew. They remind you of who you are when you've forgotten. They lend you their fuel when yours is toxic or entirely empty. It totally proves that personal willpower is incredible, but it's ultimately fragile on its own. A robust support system is the safety net that makes ultimate sustained success possible. You absolutely cannot do it alone. No way. So we arrive at the ultimate synthesis of these two engines. What kind of fuel are you choosing, and who is in your corner? I want you to really evaluate your own life right now through this dual lens. Are you pumping toxic negative fuel into your own engine through constant self-criticism? And if you do crash tomorrow, which let's face it, happens to the best of us, Who is standing in your pit crew ready to help you rebuild? You need both engines firing to truly achieve the reality you want. Take a hard look at your mindset, take a hard look at your social circle, and make the necessary adjustments.